You know that here on the channel, we love to talk about entry and mid-range phones, and based on your responses, you love it as well. So let's talk about this. The OnePlus N10 Nord is an important phone. It steps outside the lines of what people have traditionally come to expect from OnePlus, but that is important as well. It's 5G enabled, it's full featured, but most importantly, it's wallet friendly. Let's talk about it. Hey, if any of these videos, any of this information has helped you, please hit us with that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll get the latest notifications when we upload new content. OnePlus established itself as a techies phone manufacturer by providing awesome devices with near flagship quality at well under North American flagship pricing. You've seen our reviews on this channel, the OnePlus 7T, 7 Pro, 8 Pro, 8T, and now the Nord. I'm reviewing the European variant because the North American model is still making its way into the wild here, and the only three differences in the two phones are the plugs they come with, the SIM trays. The North American variant will be single SIM only as opposed to dual SIM, and last, the bands or the radios inside the phones. So, what you need to know up front is that this phone is a great device with a feature set that will be great for the average everyday consumer. On the right side of the phone, you get your power button, sleep, wake button. Unlike this phone's cousins, you don't get the slider alert on this side of the phone. You get the volume rocker and SIM tray with expandable storage on the left side. The top of the phone is a microphone. Bottom of the phone, you get 1/2 of the stereo speakers, USB-C charge port, microphone, and 3.5mm audio port. The rear of the phone, you're going to get a quad camera system with a 64 megapixel main camera, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, and 2 megapixel monochrome for black and white photos. The cameras are solid and deliver what you'd expect from OnePlus and what you'd expect at this price point. What do I mean by that? OnePlus has built a reputation around delivering high quality at reasonable prices, and this phone is no different. In ideal conditions, those cameras take beautiful photos. Clouds and skies are beautifully textured with solid contrast. Bright colors are captured beautifully, and you'll get decent photos out of the 2 megapixel macro lens. It'll be in the more difficult scenarios where you'll see the issues. Red flowers do lose some detail, but it's in those less than ideal conditions where most cameras at this price point are going to have some issues. And I'd ask, how many average non-techie people actually scrutinize their pictures so much as to say that a red flower loses contrast in the veins on certain smartphone cameras? Most users probably never look at any photo anywhere other than their phone's display, and on display, these photos look fine. And let's not forget about the low light capabilities of this phone, night mode. As you can see here, produced results which were absolutely fine. Solid detail, contrast and color, and again, most people will be looking at these on a small display anyway, and for that, they are more than sufficient. And speaking of displays, the 6.5-inch Full HD Plus LCD on the Nord is a very good looking display, but more importantly, content consumption with the Nord is a top-notch experience thanks to stereo speakers and sound options for wired and wireless listening. Watching across my playlist, all of the videos I regularly use look fantastic. The Witcher is not dark at all on this display, but what makes this experience is the high quality of the stereo speakers, which are among the loudest I've tested this year. Using Urbance as my control test, as I've done across all devices, the phone peaks at 80 dB with an average of 70 decibels. Going back to The Witcher, the hall scene had all the echo of a great hall, and the stereo image was well layered. But let's not forget that there's a 3.5mm audio jack on this phone. I plugged up my pair of Razer Krakens and found that the phone doesn't get quite as loud as it does over Bluetooth with wired headphones. More on that momentarily. But it does absolutely get loud enough to be quite enjoyable with a solid stereo image as I listen to Thor Ragnarok. If you use higher quality headphones, you may need an external amp to drive them, but people rocking that kind of kit probably aren't in the market for this phone. Bluetooth earbuds get plenty loud though. I tested sound output using Thor Ragnarok and OnePlus's Buds Z. Can we take a second here to talk about how OnePlus is working to create its own ecosystem of products? The OnePlus Buds Z are magnificent earbuds before we even have a discussion about their price point. At $50, that just makes them even better. The great thing is that the auto pairing feature, where you can pair with your OnePlus devices and use the cloud to store your settings so that when you move to a new device, you're automatically paired there as well, is really cool. They're definitely tuned heavier toward the low end, but that hasn't stopped them from reproducing solid mids and highs. Listening to Thor Ragnarok's opening sequence, every thud of Mjolnir hit like a ton of bricks, but not in a manner which is fatiguing, more like having a solid subwoofer. And pro tip, the Nord comes with software for enhancing the experience, something called Dirac Audio Tuner. It gives you 3 options for adding effects to your listening, but with Ragnarok, I found that it compressed the highs too much using Bluetooth earbuds, and once I shut it off, the movie soundtrack was delightful to listen to. Dialogue was clear, the rattling of the chains or highs and the lightning strikes were all present in the mix where they were lost with Dirac turned on and set to movie and dynamic modes. On the other hand, audio highs and lows sounded just fine with the Dirac activated when listening through the 3.5mm audio port. In an earlier review, I talked about just how amazing the Moto G stylus was, but its one shortcoming was the display in terms of how it stacked up to other devices. Well, the Nord fixes that issue by giving us a great display, great sound, both from the phone itself and via earbuds or headphones. But what about the rest of the user experience? The Nord shines there as well, giving users a 90 Hz refresh rate, something much pricier phones don't even utilize. And with that refresh rate and 6 GB of RAM, the user experience is snappy and responsive. You definitely don't feel like you're getting a cheap throwaway with this device. Even the charging for the 4300 mAh battery is top notch, though not wireless. First, this battery is a beast that will absolutely last you a day. In 12 hours off the charger and almost 9 hours of screen on time, the phone still had 17% battery left, which showed me that I had around 2 more hours of use. But wait, there's more. The Nord features OnePlus's Warp 30T charging. This is the international charger. And even though this is the European variant, I was able to use the phone's data just fine on T-Mobile's network, though it obviously doesn't take advantage of all the spectrum that network offers. The fingerprint scanner on the rear of the phone works well enough, even though I had some times when it didn't read. That's easily fixed though by a little trick which I've employed with other scanners that have the same issue, and that is to register your fingers twice. Doing that generally removes any false reading issues you may encounter with one of these fingerprint scanners, no matter the phone. So, what's the bottom line on the Nord? It's good for business, the business of 5G. It's good for you because it presents another low-cost option for 5G, and that creates competition. It's good for your lifestyle with its beast mode battery, quality entertainment experiences, and wallet-friendly pricing. Looks like I'm gonna have to do another low-cost 5G phone battle soon. Which phones would you like to see me pit head-to-head? Tell me in the comments below. Hey, we don't take it lightly that you're watching with us, that you've spent time with us today. So if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this review, leave them in the comments below. I'll get to them. If you want to find out more about rate plans and where you can pick this phone up, please head on over to reviews.org to the main website. Our folks over there have done plenty of research and have tons of information for you there. As always, I'm Tshaka Armstrong for reviews.org. I will check you out on the next video.